What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Independent Joe. This next maybe 4 or 5 episodes are going to be dedicated to the big green weenie. Okay, I know it sounds funny, but if you're like one of many of my brothers and sisters out there, brothers in arms, you know what the big green weenie is. Either you have to do something that you don't want to do, go somewhere you don't want to go, and right here is something where maybe these are whiskeys and bourbons. The next 4 or 5 episodes are going to be on whiskeys or bourbons that sound good, may be good, maybe have a nice bottle, nice picture, nice story, but we don't know what to believe as far as what they actually are. I'm not trying to call out any of these distilleries or make them feel, make it seem like they're being dishonest in what they're doing. Not that at all. Just curious on some of the backstories on some of these. Maybe not even all of them. Just some of them. I'm gonna go through and probably just taste them. But a lot of them, or a couple of them, I say a lot of them. A couple of them might have some strange story behind them that I'm trying to figure out. Maybe in the comments you can put down, like whether or not I'm giving accurate information. Maybe somebody knows better than I do about some of these bottles I'm going to be talking about. This one in particular is Butcher's Bourbon, Butcher's Tennessee Bourbon. It doesn't say, it says Tennessee on the bottom, but it doesn't say Butcher's Tennessee Bourbon. But it is Butcher's Tennessee Bourbon. Okay, there's a story behind it. Has to do with a young man who remembers his father as a butcher, and so he came up with the concept of Butcher's Bourbon. Now, the young man was proud of his father because he didn't take no stuff from anybody. He did, he broke the rules and whatever it is that he was doing. I guess cutting up meat, and he wasn't supposed to do it a certain way. I'm still foggy on that. I have the story, a little bit of the story. Let me quickly go over it. So his grandfather, not his father, his grandfather lost his finger while making a whiskey barrel. He traded his motorcycle to bootleggers for a rifle, and after World War II, he began his career as a butcher in Detroit's Eastern Market, next to the slaughterhouse that transformed into our distillery. To honor his life and legacy, I created Butcher's Cut Bourbon using the finest cuts of corn, rye, and roasted barley that I double barrel aged with hand-smoked Michigan Northern Oak. The result is a bourbon that is timeless and true with exceptional character, just like the man that inspired it. Sounds good. Sounds like a good story, but I started looking up this bourbon in particular and trying to figure out where it comes from, and because I wanted to get some background information on it. It gave some story in the back. It just talks about how kind of the same thing, but maybe a little bit less definite. I don't have my glasses on, so bear with me. It says, you may not remember the man that you're holding his legacy when the law was the way. He lived life with no concern for the rules of others. His standards were his own, and they were uncompromising. When you've wanted the best cut of meat, you walked in the front of his shop. For the best bottle of bourbon, you went to the back. He was the butcher, and this was his bourbon. That's an interesting story, but it's kind of like different. It's about the same person, I believe, but it's kind of a different story. So I got confused on who this is actually for. I understand it's the grandfather now. But when you look up Butcher's Bourbon, the same picture, same year. They actually make a 8-year and a 12-year and a 10-year, or at least the picture shows a 10-year. It doesn't actually say 10-year. Actually, on the picture that says 10-year, it says 12-year. So, or the wording says 12-year. So on the bottle it says Dumpling Creek Distillery, from Tennessee. Which okay, I know this is a Tennessee bourbon. But then you look it up, I don't find anything on Dumpling Creek Distillery. Shows the bottle, but it's Thunder Road Distillery, who supposedly make this. So if you know if Dumpling Creek bought out Thunder Road, or Thunder Road bought out Dumpling Creek, and maybe this was one of their last bottles, please put in the comments. Again, I'm not trying to call out any distiller. I'm just trying to figure out what this is. And in the Thunder Road, what they were saying, the bottle actually pays homage to the 12-year, pays homage to bootleg distillers of the Appalachians, which has nothing to do with his grandfather's story. So Thunder Road Distillery, which this says on the bottle, it's not it, is named after the 1958 movie Thunder Road. So just confused here on what this is. It has no mash bill. Couldn't find a mash bill anywhere. The Thunder Road story, or comments on some of those were saying that Thunder Road Distillery doesn't even distill their own. According to the story, they do everything. They build the barrels. They what else do they do? They only the finest cuts of corn, rye, and roasted barley are in this bottle. So it's kind of confusing on what's actually in this bottle. It is a 12-year, as I just said. It's 92 proof. It's a single barrel. So very confusing on this bottle. So I'm gonna see whether or not I got the big green weenie here and bought a bottle that maybe shouldn't have been bought. And I got a few like that because I wanted to get a bunch of different ones that are out there. I know we talk about the Blantons. I know we talk about the Four Gates and all these other different ones that we know. The Maker's Mark, and by the way, 2021 limited release. It's definitely, in my opinion, a buy. Okay, I know some people got mixed reviews on that. In my opinion, it's a buy. But back to this. So I got a few bottles that I want to share, and I'm gonna go through these next 4 videos so that you don't end up with the big green weenie saying, "Oh my God, I just got taken for however much money." I made sure that they were all under $50, but they're out there. They're 12 years, or just because they're age stated and stuff like that. Don't buy into the premise that these are going to be, like the great whiskeys. You still got to be careful with what you buy out there, because you never know. Those, it might have a good story behind it, or it might have a couple of good stories behind it. So, but I'm always, like I always say on all my other videos, I mean, for me, I like the flavor. If I like the flavor, if I like how it drinks, I don't mind having it. Would I buy another one if it maybe doesn't give me the full story, or any story, or fake stories, or whatever it is? I probably wouldn't buy it again. But this one right here is the 12-year. I thought, well, maybe this is one of those good examples of different ones that I should probably maybe review instead of just sipping on it, and maybe let people know whether or not they should be looking for these type of bottles that are out there. Just because it's a bourbon or a whiskey has an age statement doesn't mean that necessarily that you should buy it. I wish I knew the whole story on this. I'll probably do some more research after this, but I did a little bit of research, found out 2 distilleries are claiming this bottle. One story is about an uncle, the other story is about bootleggers for bourbon. So, which on the back it kind of says he was a bootlegger, his grandfather too, because it gave the whiskey or bourbon. You go to the back for the whiskey or bourbon. Confusing stories. Okay. So, real quick, off topic. I told you guys that Milwaukee's not out of it yet. Suns are ahead 2-1 in the series, but Milwaukee's got a good team. As long as they can pull it together like they did the last one. They actually didn't do that great as a team on the last one, but they did play better. So they pulled it out. I think it was kind of a blowout on that game. So we'll see what happens if they can come back tomorrow, Wednesday, and or that may be today by the time you see this. But yeah, see if they can come back and win another one. I'd like to thank 2 people, 2 new subscribers, Blue Flame and Knight BMW Rider 99. I appreciate you. Thank you for subscribing. Hopefully you can help grow the channel, and we'll just keep this thing trucking on. Okay, so I'm not gonna go. That's all the off topic I'm gonna do for today. Back to this bourbon. I'm gonna go ahead and go in on the nose. Just stir it up. It's been sitting here for a while. My computer crashed, so I had to restart it so you can hear the tunes and see the big old red ink right here, red and black ink telling you who I am, even though I got the hat on. It's on this thing right here. It's all over the place. Jesus. It's on my glass. Well, it is from Tennessee, so I'll tell you right now, I'm a big fan of George Dickel products, and I'm telling you, without a doubt, this is George Dickel. There's no doubt in my mind. I don't have a problem with it as long as the flavor is good. This stories though is what I have a problem with. You know, taking claim on something that you did not make. It would have been nice to add a mash bill to it, but since they're out of Tennessee, I believe, not positive. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. That if you say you bottled it out of Tennessee and just where you bought it from, your product, then you don't have to claim that you didn't make it. You don't have to give anybody else information. So since they're not like out of Texas or out of Michigan or out of Colorado, anywhere else in the United States, they don't have to give credit to Tennessee for this. And then we would know for sure that it's not their own make. So right here, they're claiming, at least as far as that story, that they do make this. But I can tell you right now, this is definitely Dickel, 12-year. Yeah, I mean, you get all those different flavors. I'm not gonna say I smell any vitamins or minerals. I do get a mineral in there. I get a overripe apple flavor in this. It's really sweet. It's got a slight hint of cinnamon in there. Yeah, this is definitely George Dickel. So that's my opinion, anyways. Cheers. I'm gonna go ahead and go on the palate. I'll tell you, it doesn't taste too much like George Dickel. There's like a raw smokiness to it, real woody. There's a peach flavor that comes through. It is kind of sweet. It's almost like a sweet tea once it's getting back to the back of the palate. Yeah, I think I took a little bit of too small of a drink. It does have a drying aspect to it. that I'm not very fond of. It is coating the glass fairly well. I get a sweet tea flavor still lingering behind. It does have that smoky aspect to it, even on the nose. I'm going for another drink, better drink this time. Yeah, it's got to be George Dickel. Again, I'm not mad at the flavors or what it is in the glass, because, like I said, I don't have a problem drinking George Dickel products, but the labeling, the storylines, you gotta let people know where you got it from, and it's okay. You know, you're a company trying to grow. I mean, I've never really heard of this. I just saw that it was a low price with a high age statement. I thought when I do my reviews on the different bottles that you can buy, that maybe you don't have to buy some of these I guess higher end bottles. Just you can find them anywhere. Well, I still get the flavors. Just smoky. I won't say it's long. It's about medium range. That sweet tea sticks behind it. It's not a overly sweet tea. It's almost like a bitter sweet tea. Yeah. When you first take that sip, you get that overly ripe apple, and then it goes right away. Very light cinnamon, even on the drink. I'm going for one more. Yeah, there's that cinnamon. Lingers for about 4 seconds, 5 seconds, and then it just dissipates. Really smoky, woody. Again, you get that peach flavor, and then it turns into a sweet, bitter tea, a bittersweet tea. And then all you're just left is just some of that smoke. Yeah, could not recommend the bottle. I would say try it before you buy it. If you're in an area where they have this in the bars and stuff like that, I've never seen it before, and I thought I'd be your test monkey to get the big weenie if it isn't good that I had to pay that cash for. But you definitely want to. I would just buy George Dickel if you're looking for these type of flavors, and this falls short of what the 12-year George Dickel is. Definitely doesn't taste as good as the 9. So yeah, there it is. Like I said, I'm gonna make a few of these next couple of episodes that I'm gonna be doing is just gonna be on whiskeys that maybe most people haven't heard about. Even I haven't heard about it, because I just seen it and I was like, okay, that looks like one that's maybe nice, or maybe nice packaging or whatever. And this looked like a strong bottle. Good story on the back. Well, weird story on the back. Better story on the internet. Weirder story as far as which distillery actually distills this or bottles this. So there you have it. All right. Well, I appreciate you. Hope you enjoy these next episodes on maybe what you shouldn't buy, and yeah. Hope you have a great night. Take care.